and welcome to my channel. So today I'm recapping episodes 5, 6, 7, 8 of Love is Blind Mexico. Mexico, not the UK. It can get confusing nowadays because we have two franchises of Love is Blind going on at the same time. Like I said, Netflix decided to love bomb us. I get so stressed out when I post a video maybe like 2 days after the episodes aired. But now that I'm thinking, like, you guys need time to catch up too. So I shouldn't get so up in my head when I'm like 2 days late. But with UK, my computer crashed. It was uploading and it was like 75%, 80%, and then boom, computer crashed and I had to start everything all over again. It was a pain in the butt. So knock on wood, it won't happen with this video. I know I said on my first video of Mexico that I thought the first 4 episodes were really boring. Actually, now I like Mexico better than the UK version. This 4 episodes, I really liked it. I'm loving all the couples. I have their pictures right now. I feel like they're all really trying to make their relationships work. And I also thought this last 4 episodes, there was just the right amount of drama to make it entertaining for us. And the drama that we got didn't feel forced or cheap like we see in some of the US versions. So we pick up episode 5 still in Tulum when the couples are just about to leave their honeymoon, and we see Saul and Lety having their a conversation during breakfast about what happened the night before when all the couples got together. And then Lety was saying how hurt she felt about some things that Saul said to the other couples, that he thinks she's cold, she's not showing a lot of physical emotion towards him. And he apologized and he said that it was probably the alcohol, some things he doesn't even remember saying. And she said, "It is not my responsibility to watch the amount of alcohol that you consume." And she always talks in a very soothing voice. I loved that whole conversation. I thought both of them were so mature and calm. Basically what she says is that she feels pressured and overstimulated because she has ADHD. And I totally understand, even from someone that doesn't have ADHD, I will feel so overstimulated with the show. Cameras all over your face, you meet all these new people, you have a strange fiance that you're supposed to go on a trip the day that you just met face to face. I think they go the same day or they go the day after, but they go right away after the proposal. So it's a lot for anyone. It's a very stressful situation. And just the fact that she was acknowledging that, it just showed to me that Lety was in the show for the right reasons. And Saul said that he feels that this experiment, it's like sprinting with someone that you barely know. I always said that Love is Blind is dating on steroids, and I don't know why people keep calling it an experiment. This is not an experiment anymore. It is a dating reality show. Yeah, season 1, maybe season 2, it is kind of like a new experiment. But even Renee's dad, later on the show when they meet the families, Renee is trying to explain to him the experiment, and then the dad was sitting there, a reality? I was like, yeah, it's a reality show. So in Tulum, unfortunately, Lety and Saul, they break things off, they go separate ways. But spoiler alert, later in another episode when they're all celebrating Sylvia's birthday, we found out they're back together after the cameras stopped following them, and she feels more at ease that they're trying to give the relationship a go. And I was so happy because I do like them together. I really like Lety. I wonder if we're going to see them walk down the aisle and see if they're going to say yes or no, but I don't think she wants to go through a whole wedding thing. I think she just wants to date. And we also didn't see Lety at the wedding shopping episode. Speaking of Sylvia's birthday party, Fernanda, Fernanda and Gerardo, Fernanda didn't go to the birthday party, and she mentioned something about not wanting to see Sylvia. So Gerardo went by himself. And do you guys have any clue what happened between them? What's the tea? why didn't she want to go? So in this 4 episodes, we basically had 3 important events. We had the barbecue where the couples get together, and then we had them meeting each other's families, and then we had them going to pick their wedding dresses. So let's start with the barbecue and our protagonist, Karen. Side note, Karen, she smokes cigarettes, and Fernando really wants her to quit. And she's trying to compromise. There's even a day that she said, I didn't smoke at all today, but I will have one tonight. So she's not doing the whole cold turkey thing. And I think like Fernando, if he wants her to quit, if he wants her to do cold turkey, then he better be prepared for her to get moody, because quitting smoking, it's not easy. I know people that quit harder drugs, like heavy drugs, and they couldn't quit smoking. The happiest day of my life was when my mom told me she quit smoking, and she did for good. She never had a relapse or anything, and she hangs out with people that smoke cigarettes. But you know, when you give your mother like cards like for her birthday or Happy Mother's Day, so I used to give my mom cards and write a whole poem for her and confess my love to her and write all these beautiful words. But here in the US, when you buy a pack of cigarettes, you only have the warnings like in writing. Oh, smoking causes lung cancer. In Brazil, they show the lung. They show the pictures. They show a black lung, they show a dead baby, they show someone with like a hole in their throat, and it's also in magazines. So I used to cut up the photos and then the warnings, and after I wrote my poem to my mom, I was like, blah! I used to put on the bottom, like, smoking causes lung cancer, and here's the picture. Just putting out there, if anyone says that, yeah, Karen should stop smoking because Fernando told her to, it's not that easy. So going back to the barbecue drama, this was the first time that all the couples find out that Renee and Irais are together, because they didn't see them in Tulum. So, you know, I guess all the couples thought, oh, they didn't work out. But the person who was shocked the most, of course, it was Karen. She said, why are they here if they didn't, you know, she did this, if they didn't get together? And I know I said on my first video about Mexico that Karen was my favorite, but I'm a woman and I'm allowed to change my mind. Just like the great Wendy Williams said once. She always used to say, I'm a woman and I'm allowed to change my mind. So Karen lost some points in my book because of the whole barbecue drama. Was she aggressive, questioning their relationship? Yes, but I was questioning too, and I'm sure all the other couples were questioning too. Irais said when they met face to face, you know, for the first time, she said she didn't like his looks. She didn't like the nose piercing. She thought he looked like a drunk. So what has changed now, Irais? He still looks the same physically. So for me, yeah, it's kind of like, it's fishy, because do you go back to him just to stay on the show? Or as Karen was worried about, that she got with Renee just to get her way back to Fernando, who was her first choice from the beginning. Like Karen said, she never even mentioned Renee at the women's lounge because she was so focused on Fernando. And we even know that, what's her name, Irais, she even ghosted Renee for like 2 days. And you already said, I love you, I'm in love with you, I want to marry you. When Fernando broke up with Irais, right then and there, she said, what do you think of Renee? And I was like, what? So did Karen come off as jealous and insecure and drilled them too hard? I felt really bad for Renee. Yeah, she did, but I would have doubts too. And it's funny because she kept saying, no me interesa, no me interesa. Like, I don't care about you guys, but why you keep talking about it if you don't care? No me interesa, then like, shut up. So even though the whole thing at the barbecue between the two couples was pretty messy, I really appreciated that that particular barbecue in the Mexican version didn't end up in a screaming match like other US versions, if you know what I mean. I also appreciate that Karen apologized to Renee face to face, that she was sorry, that, you know, she said things that she probably shouldn't have said. And yeah, she basically apologized that he got caught in the fire in between her and Irais, and I thought her apology was sincere. By the way, Netflix needs to get a better translator, because sometimes the subtitles don't really match what they're saying. I noticed that they add little things to contribute to the drama. When Karen was talking to Renee, and then she said, yo dije cosas that I shouldn't have. And the subtitles read, I said shit I shouldn't have said. I was like, why add a curse word? That's not what she said. She didn't say like, yo dije mierdas que no debía, blah, blah. Why is Netflix adding little things like that? But let's move on to the family meetings. First of all, are all these people super rich? Because Chema, and I know he's a poker player, so he probably has a lot of money, but his apartment, when they walked in and he was giving Sylvia a little tour, I was like, orale, Chema. It was like so nice. Willie's apartment too was like super nice and big. Maybe get more of a mix of different classes. Gerardo and Fernanda topic. I really like them together. I hope they worked out. When they're walking Argos, her dog, and they're talking about coordinating their schedules and maybe moving to Monterrey, but Monterrey doesn't have a lot of parks. And just the way he was holding her and he kisses her forehead was so like natural. It seems like they've been together for a long time. I wish I would have seen his dogs though. His dogs interact with her dog, Argos, because Argos is like her son, she said. One of the moments that was really worrisome for me in the Swedish version was Rasmus and Chrissy Lee when their dogs met, but his dog is a Chow Chow and he's just like the chillest dog ever, and her dog was aggressive, and I was so worried for them. I was like, this is not gonna work out. It did. They're happy, they're expecting a baby. Did you know that Chrissy Lee's pregnant? He got a taste of her fiery personality. She got so mad that he fell asleep. She was going to bed and I think she was expecting to have sex or something, but he fell asleep, and I bet a lot of guys out there can relate to this. Poor Gerardo. She ripped him a new one. Her and Karen, I wonder if both of them are Scorpios. Maybe it's just like the Latina in them, they get like super fired up. Is anyone curious to know what kind of doctor he is? Or is it just me? Medical. That's it? It's like, what kind of doctor? Because there's a lot of doctors out there and they're all different. There's pediatrician, he could be a surgeon, he could be a vet. Wasn't Shake? Because Shake was a vet, and I can't remember if he said he's a doctor and then we found out that he's like an animal doctor. Ooh, he's a doctor. It's not all rainbows and flowers. I dated a guy that he was a pediatrician, and you're like, ooh, pediatrician, on call all the time. Speaking of Renee and his family, boy, oh boy, Irais, run. I don't care much for her, but girl, run, because Renee seems like a nice guy, but he comes along with a family that is so toxic. I understand them questioning and not understanding this experiment. I understand that they're preoccupied and worried about this whole thing. But if Karen's daughter, she's 11 years old, if she watched Love is Blind, I'm pretty sure Renee's sisters have seen the show or know about the show. But his sisters were like Cinderella's wicked stepsisters. I have a video. Look at this.
Él cuando está con sus hermanas es muy consentidor. Y espero que no te pongas celosa. No, ¿por qué pasa eso?
Es que
las consiente y se ponen celosas, muy celosas.
Then they threw poor Renee under the bus about his finances. So they're saying that he's bad with money. And one of the sisters says to Irais, she says, so even though that he's not good with finances, you're still gonna marry him? I was like, wow, talk about family sabotage. Protect Sylvia at all costs. She's the best. I love her. I want to be BFFs with her. So she had her birthday party. And then Chema's friend, Carlos, shut up. Keep your mouth shut. But he said in front of everyone that Sylvia, it's not Chema's type. And he asked Chema, like, So what did you think when you first saw her? He said, I didn't like her dress. I didn't like her fake eyelashes. And her dress, they even showed she had a long, like sparkly dress, black, off the shoulder with a slit. She looked beautiful. Of course, you gotta dress up and put your best out there. It's the first time that you're gonna go face to face with your future husband or wife. So when he said, I didn't like her dress and her fake eyelashes, I was like, what in the JP is going on here? Remember JP and I can't remember her name, but she was blonde, really pretty, even without makeup on. But he said that he didn't like her wearing makeup, and it was like the biggest controversy of the season. So it was a bit sad to see Sylvia. You can see the look on her face. Even the most confident woman can get her feelings hurt too. And then she said, it's not that I'm not his type. That's not the problem. It's that he didn't like this muñecón. I'm sorry, men out there, but you guys really know how to put your foot in your mouth. It's like the UK version, Ollie, when he talks about, I can't remember her name now, so many Love is Blind people. But he said to this girl, yeah, she's curvy in all the right places. I was like, oh my gosh. So I think Chema will say no. He doesn't come off as genuine to me, and I dated a poker player, so I see his poker face written all over him. And then Willie and Francesca, he's going to say no. He's not ready. He's definitely not ready for marriage. I mean, they can date after the show. The funniest thing between Willie and Fran is that he breaks up with her and she's crying and the friends are there consoling her. The next day, they're back together after going rock climbing. I guess the lesson is that girls out there, if you get dumped, just take your soon-to-be ex rock climbing. And maybe there's a chance. Because I don't know what happened. Maybe they're using the analogy of like, oh, a relationship is like climbing this wall. I shouldn't look down. I should just keep going. But it was so weird that he's like, he dumped her one day and then the next day he's like, oh, we're back together. We're going to walk down the aisle. Yeah, I'm loving Love is Blind Mexico. Like, it's funny. Last night, all my dreams were in Spanish. And even last week, after I binged the 4 episodes, someone came and talked to me in English, and I was like, ay, hombre. Watching Love is Blind Mexico is brushing off my Spanish, and I'm like, you know, learning all this new slangs that I didn't know. Someone said about their dad, saying that, yeah, he's the flan en la casa. And I was like, oh, he's the flan de la casa, which means like he's the softy one in the house. Oh, Colita, she was saying that, oh, about Argo, the dog. She's like, yeah, he loves moving la colita. And that reminded me of a dance. I used to work at a hotel when we had to do this dance. It's called Mueve la colita, lita, lita, mueve la colita. And I never knew what colita means. So now I know that it means like shake your little tail, I guess. Producers, please, you need to play more cultural songs. And I mean like songs of the country. Because I would love to discover and enjoy, you know, more songs in Spanish. You know, we're in Mexico. Play some Mexican songs. They only play one song. It's called Cosas Mágicas. And then in Brazil too, I was like, play some Brazilian music. Have people learn more about the culture with the songs. So who do you think will make it next week? Who do you think will say yes? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the little bell, the notification button, so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you next time. Mueve la colita, lita, lita, mueve la colita.